Danil, a two-time world champion, one of the original Russian chess boxers. I met him in 2018 in Calcutta, India. And he is matched up against a French favorite, an up-and-comer in the IFC, the Intellectual Fight Club, and he is making his way to the ring. This is an incredibly even match, with Jules having a slight advantage in chess and Danil having a slight advantage in boxing. But we are in for a treat. One of the fights of the tournament, to be sure, and cannot wait to see this all play out.
Well,
both
crazy.
men already warmed up, sweating, and ready to rock and roll.
I've had already so many emotions tonight. I wasn't aware that all the good stuff was still to come.
Yeah, we have already been treated, and we are in for more treats, especially with these last two matchups, both being France and Russia, the two rivals in this year's World Championship. And these are two of the best chess boxers that we have in the world.
Definitely.
The two-time main event fighter, Jules in the IFC, and Danil, one of the most decorated chess boxers in history, and certainly one of the best Russians that the team has. Wow, already. Pretty aggressive opening here.
I actually do like the opening that Danil has chosen, in as much as he knows he's going to be a little bit down on the chess. So what he's done, he's taken a bit of a mathematician's opening, you know, learn a bit of theory. He knows he's going to be able to go so far, maybe get an equal position, and without being too much down on the clock. So he's going to maximize his boxing rounds. That's where he is going to, you know, try and potentialize the thing.
Ooh, this is a tight position here. Now, this bishop might fall. You can block with the knight, but the knight is pinned to the king.
Okay.
It's a tricky check.
So the trick here is that there will be intermediate moves. So the knight will take on c3, but there will be bishop takes c6 check. He takes back, you take back. Queen takes. You are going to lose a pawn, but bishop d2, you're defending your rook. So you're going to get out with it minimum. He has to see it.
The
queen
side is wrecked after that.
It is.
But he will escape with just a pawn down.
There
so
will
he
be some
needs
compensation because he's going to castle on the king's side.
Only 6 seconds off of Jules' clock. Can we just bring attention to that? All of this has happened in 6 seconds off of Jules' clock.
He's taking a page out of my book.
Yeah, he's moving nice and quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was not the move
That
order.
was not the move.
He needed to take the knight with check and force Jules to respond to it, but instead he retakes the knight with the pawn and loses the bishop. The queen is in a position to be able to keep Danil from castling, which is so annoying. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of actually forcing you to exchange queens to not be even worse off. So yeah, if you're going to miss moves like that, yeah, this is going to be an issue here. You know.
Okay, and more time ticking off of Danil's clock. Maybe now he's thinking, okay, if I take more time, I'll be able to get more boxing, and maybe I have an advantage in boxing. So he's taking his time. He's letting that loss of a piece early in this fight.
That was his default plan. He didn't want it to come to this. He chosen that opening. I think that bishop b5, that queen a5, it needed to be adjusted. He needed to go a little bit further in his theoretical research. He's going to be able to castle now, and he's going to have a tiny little bit of compensation in as much as the king side of black is kind of lagging in development.
It's going to take at least 2 moves to be able to set up for a castle.
And I would say even 3, which could be something. Now that knight, where is it going to go? It's going to maneuver around. It can
probably
come
h4.
I would actually probably go.
Bring it back.
I would probably do e1, c2, e3.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
But don't quote me on that. You could actually do it the other way around, like knight h4. I don't think. Oh, it could be even a mistake. It could be g5. It'll get messy.
Jules in control of the chess. Only 13 seconds off of his clock and already up a bishop. What domination did we just witness?
No, absolutely. The thing is, now we're going to see what's happening in the boxing. Now, the last time that these lads, were faced with each other in the ring was already 4 years ago, believe it or not. And Jules has come quite a long way since then. He's got a little bit more experience, and now he's got a whole extra year of sparring. He's sparring a lot, and he's much more, let's say, technical in his approach. He's kind of calmed down on like pure cardio, and he's choosing his spots. He's trying to be a clean boxer.
And that is a good thing to bring up. This is actually a rematch. These two fighters have fought in a former world championship, and Danil was the winner.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jules was the winner.
He blundered Danil blundered a mate, unfortunately.
That's right. He could have won. That was it. You never want to blunder a mate. If you blunder, you don't want it to be a mate.
You don't. No. Yeah, blunder. Well, blunder a piece. Blunder a bishop.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, there's.
You can come back from that. All right. Gloves have been touched. Seconds out. Here's the bell, and we are underway. France and Russia going at it.
So I think that there's going to be a little bit of change of style compared to the last fight. He knows that he has to make it a brawl.
Good hook to the body early, showing the experience, going and investing in body work in this first round.
Well, Danil has, I believe, like 200 amateur fights, actually. But there's a downside to that, is that you're so used to scoring points.
Ooh, great lead hook lands on the chin of Jules. Danil landing a good combination, a straight cross and a lead hook. A little wild there. And Jules making him respect the jab.
If you don't knock Jules out, he doesn't actually care about the pain. You have to know that.
So his background is chess, but he was a street fighter before he went into a boxing gym and learned technique. So, he's felt bare knuckles on the face. A padded glove isn't going to do much.
He actually enjoys it.
Masochist. Good, another left hook to the body as Jules was dancing around, doing a little head movement. Good distance control by Danil, getting right out. Oh, a good slip and counter lead hook. Danil definitely getting the better of this this boxing round so far.
It is, but it's not as clean.
Another
as
good slip.
It was. Once upon a time. These days, Jules is kind of showing something.
Another great head movement and a counter. Seems like every time Jules attacks, Danil has an answer.
Well, he's showing his technical superiority.
See a little blood. I wonder if that's Danil's blood or Jules's blood.
But I don't believe it's enough to actually make a real difference.
I'd like to see more jabs. Danil has such a long reach. I think more jabs from him would.
But you could do 3 rounds like this, right?
Yeah.
A little bit messy.
And there we go.
A bit of a hold and a.
A little hold and an uppercut. Yeah, a little warning. That's okay. Oh, that again. It goes just wide. That one would have hurt.
That's actually good technique to lose time, just to immediately you see you're out of position, so you put your head, the arm behind the head, and you just circle out. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. It's like a Triple G or a Lomachenko kind of move.
It is.
That dance outside lateral movement.
But whereas in boxing, killing time might not be such a.
It looks like the blood is coming from Jules. He's getting checked out by the doctor, so we'll have a brief break, giving both fighters time to get some deep breaths in, and maybe a little instruction from their coach on what they're doing well and what they can improve on.
Rica Armas and the Armas family.
Yep, and they while we had Laura on the broadcast, there were some photos and videos from Mom. We love to see proud parents supporting their kids who are chess boxers.
And the parents are obviously very worried, but
and we're back
supporting them
as they should be. Just look at this boxing.
A little hectic. Needs some calming, but there is a sense of urgency, and Danil.
For Danil, certainly. But Jules always has one gear, and it is go.
Well, it's much better that way, because if you don't get it on, then you're defensive and you're pedaling backwards, and it's the best way to get dropped. Better just fight the fight, forget about the chess altogether.
I would disagree there. Yeah, if you're attacking, you're opening yourself up, you can get countered much easily. And in a case where he has a clear advantage on the chessboard, I'd like to see Jules' game develop to where he knows how to fight defensively and force Danil to have to risk himself in order to come in and attack instead of just giving him options. But Jules with a huge pop-off at the end, probably winning the end of the round after that blood was checked. And overall, Danil showing his experience, but Jules showing a lot of heart. That was a very even boxing round.
Actually, I like that touch of gloves at the end. That showed a lot of respect, because the last time they fought, clearly Jules was nowhere near the level that he was.
Yeah,
and he's like, okay, man, now we're having a boxing fight.
That's very true. All right, so that first boxing round is in the books, and we are heading back to chess. Now, there is a possibility that the match ends in this chess round. With that time advantage and a slight positional advantage, I mean, I don't think we'll time out this round.
No.
But
we'll
with
see
the
another
time pressure, and you know, with how fast Jules is moving, it could move to checkmate.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it's the nature of the position doesn't really allow it. I think that we will see another boxing round. And if the worst comes to the worst, Danil will feel the danger. He knows what Jules is capable of, obviously, and he's just going to, you know, he's going to be on ultra awareness.
Well, time will tell, and only 13 seconds off the clock for Jules. Incredible fast movement from the Frenchman. And we are right back into it. So developing the bishop, preparing to castle, protecting that king. Rook comes over to e1.
Putting pressure on that e4 pawn. He can come and pick it up now with queen g4 maybe, because it attacks 2 pawns, the pawn on g7 and the pawn on e4. So
that's right. It kind of forces the castle.
But this is the downside of you know, black playing so fast. There are going to be little issues, but he can afford it because the advantage is such. Bishop h6. Okay, that was
threatening mate, easy defense.
That was a Hail Mary attempt for sure. You have to go back up with the bishop. You have to kind of h4, h5, and maybe try again. But it's never going to work.
Now we can scoop up that e4 pawn, though.
You can't now. You need to remove the bishop because it's no longer pinned. So that's the priority.
Oh, that is the priority.
And then he can actually grab on a2 if he wants to, if he so wishes to. He might not be inclined to, though.
He's going to be able to get another tempo pushing the bishop further back. Probably would have brought it a little further back. But pushing e5 now, forcing the issue.
The bishop on c8 is attacking the queen, so this is kind of an issue. But it's not so much about d4. It's much more about opening up the 2 bishops, and so that the bishop pair is actually going to shine now.
Perhaps smartly not scooping up the pawn on e5 with the queen and offering a queen trade, but keeping the queen on the board.
That was a blunder. It's white. Oh no, it's white to play. My apologies. It was not. Okay.
Yep.
The queen can still move.
Okay, so trading off the knight that was attacking, but now to connect it.
He will take on e4, most probably. He will take on e4. It's just that the queens are going to exchange. It's going to be so much easier to play fast, right? It's not a good chess. Oh, and then bishop f5. More pieces can come off the board. Is that what he wants? Because he's material up. These are all very debatable decisions. I mean, you could go either way.
And the DGT is not picking up the light square bishop on f5, but it is there, aiming through, skewering the rook to the knight to the other rook.
He has to center that bishop a little bit more. Oh, f3 is being played now. I'm not too sure, but I think he just wants to make him think about moves.
Yeah, just take.
Yeah, and now he's now rook e8. Somebody has to adjust that.
And only 30 seconds off the clock of Jules. I just have to stress how impressive that is to get to this stage of the game and only use 30 seconds of your time. Only 45 seconds left for Danil.
So, okay, that's a 10-second count. The white does have a little bit of compensation, but it's tiny. It's really not much to go by. And now even that pin, because there is the bishop on f5, that pin is going to be terribly hard to get out of.
And there's the time. Pretty equal position in terms of material, slight positional advantage.
There's a piece up. There's a piece up. You just don't see it because it's disappeared.
Oh, that's right. It isn't being picked up by the DGT. We might need to let them know that. But as these two fighters prepare for the next boxing round, I'm actually going to go tell them real quick. And I'm back.
That was quick. Are you Clark Kent or Superman? Which one are you?
It depends on the day and if the world's at risk. All right, Danil knows exactly what's at stake, and he knows what he needs to do in this boxing round. If it goes back to chess, it is all but over on the time. So he's got to get a knockout. That can either be scored by a clean knockout like we saw against Sergio Levesque earlier tonight, or by 3 stoppages in a round, which there has been no stoppages scored so far by either fighter. A good right cross and left hook to the body lands. Good start for Danil. Another stiff jab lands for Danil.
Danil is one hell of a fighter. He actually packs one hell of a punch, I have been told. But I just don't see him knocking Jules out somehow.
Has a nice low guard, baiting Jules, the aggressive fighter, in to open himself up so maybe he can counterpunch and land. So his hands down is intentional. He isn't being sloppy. He isn't being lazy. He wants shots from Jules so that he can use that shot against Jules. He wants to bait the bull in so he can step aside and deliver a killing blow. Great three-punch combination lands for Danil, but Jules turns him into the ropes and gets space. Nice. Now he can escape if he wants to, but he's staying in the middle. He is ready to throw, ready to trade, not scared of Danil.
There you go. And I think
good clinch.
He's kind of prepared that. I see that he does it a lot. Just, he's gaining time. He knows that one strategy is to gain time. I don't think there was any foul play.
Rule to slip.
Mm-hmm.
Good jab by Jules, keeping his opponent at bay, getting in tight, throwing a nice hook to the guard of Danil.
Again, a bit of a time saver.
And then another clinch. He's definitely clinching more in this round, knowing time is in his favor.
He's pushing sometimes with an open glove a little bit, but nothing too serious.
A lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of energy in these punches. He doesn't need to last another boxing round, though. He can empty the tank during this round, and he'll be okay. Oh, great jab landed by Jules. More and more clinching only favors the Frenchman.
Definitely, and
there it is again.
And the frustration goes up because you realize, what do I have?
Yeah.
There's always going to be that alternative. He just has to put it in March.
I need to see more wrist from Danil. I need to see maybe a jab to the body and an overhand right. I need to start to see some Hail Mary punches because we are getting to less than a minute left in this round, and Danil hasn't gotten one stoppage yet. He needs a knockout.
He has to go Hassan style, basically.
Hassan, the German fighter, who is notoriously energetic and relentless.
Guillaume actually compared him to Tasmania. You know the cartoon?
Mm-hmm. That's a good comparison. But here we... And there's the bell. Blood coming from the eye of Jules, but a big smile underneath that blood. And he knows, heading back to the ring, that he is a world champion. He has beaten Danil again, establishing French's, I think, first world championship that we've seen
in this
so far.
I would have to check with that. I'm not entirely sure.
If it's France's, if it's not their first, it is at least another. But he's already back at the board, ready to go.
If that is not dedication by the coach, I don't know what it is. Running to give a little bit of water there, so he stays hydrated during the chess even. So okay, what is the exact? Can you not talk next to the mic? Yeah.
All right, losing the rook, it doesn't really matter much what pieces come off the board at this point, but I do think Jules wants the style points of winning in less than a minute, perhaps. He's still moving very quickly.
Well, it's a rook and a piece. I mean, now there's no commentary that's really, what can we say? It's 11 seconds. It's just a matter, not even of technique. It's just a formality.
And a queen coming in one move. Checkmate is imminent, but time will probably run out first. And there we have it. Less than a minute off the clock, and win by timeout by the Frenchman. Jules Allois is a world champion. Big pop from the French crowd. The corner going crazy, giving him the French flag before he enters the ring. And his dance is is imminent.
Don't get me wrong, I love Danil to bits, but you know, Jules winning for me is kind of consolidating my own position. So you know, he's like the gatekeeper.
It's a good point. Carl beating Jules in the last IFC main event in Paris, and it was a great fight. It came down to the final seconds. Jules showing his chops, going up against the GOAT.
And no, the more Jules wins,
the better.
The better.
And Viva la France! Taking one off of the Russian rivals. Big hug in the center of the ring. Both competitors very friendly, good sportsmen, shaking hands, making the rounds. And a huge congratulations to Jules and Team France for winning the under 80 kilogram weight division for men's chess boxing.